if I say something stupid, if I say something ridiculous, even if I knew it was going to be ridiculous, or if I didn't intend for it to be ridiculous, but it was interesting and it was thought-provoking, and it got you guys going back and forth. In the final analysis, if I don't do what it was that I suggested I was going to do, but I created a thought-provoking, conversation, headline-worthy topic, I have done my job. In fact, if I say something stupid, but it's thought-provoking, I largely just described the mentality of Mr. Beast, the largest force on all of YouTube. Mr. Beast put something out. Such a great headline. He stated everything in the headline. Know what it was? He had a room. He had a picture of a room that had no windows. It was like a matted room with a cold stainless steel piece of plumbing. And it looked a lot like a jail cell. And he said, would you stay in here for 3 months for $500,000? Just you, no TV, no back and forth, no company. Would you stay in here with a stranger for $500,000? That's what he said. Now, the caveat was, if you leave, you don't get the money. If the stranger leaves, you don't get the money. Now, that's where things got interesting. Could I do it for $500,000? You're damn right I could. Could I do it with a person for $500,000? Well, now you just made it even easier. I'll pick the person, someone I like, but somebody I know that's mentally strong and will grind out the 90 days with me. No, that's not the deal. You got to go and commit, and it's a stranger. For all you know, it's the guy that's got to pay's little brother. You don't know who it is. It's so thought-provoking. It's so interesting. I don't know who did it. I don't know if anybody did it. It was an open question if you could do it. And in that regard, Mr. Beast has done his job. By the way, the story I just told you, Mr. Beast did 4 months ago. It was that thought-provoking of a concept that I haven't forgotten it. Whether he went through and filmed that and found participants and whether they got the money or not, I don't know. I could go find out, but I don't know. It was thought-provoking. And therefore, he delivered. He did it all in a headline. Okay? Deontay Wilder did some media yesterday. I read it this morning. He was talking about competing with Francis Ngannou, and he was talking about the confusion within a mixed rules bout. And Deontay was extremely objective and clear and intelligent with his response. It seemed like it was thought out. It was very quick, and he said, well, if you're mixing rules, that's not a sport. So therefore, I don't know what you mean. When you ask me if I would do mixed rules with Francis, because that's not a sport, I can't go look that up. I don't know what you mean. You would be limiting some things, and you would be allowing some things. I need to know what you're limiting, and I need to know what you're allowing. I'm not certain why we would pursue the confusion. Why doesn't he just come box once and I'll come do MMA once? Everyone would understand that. Boom, I'm with Deontay 500%. I'd be with him more. I'd be with him 1,000% as the expression goes. Do box, do MMA. Do box, do MMA. Do box, do MMA as a way of serving you. That's the sell job. There's no attempt to serve you. There never is. It's always the sell job. It's like every politician has to, as part of their campaign, convince you I'm doing this for you. It's not for me. It's for them. A healthy ego is required and a desire for power is required, but you must present it to the audience in a believable way that it's for them. It's just part of the process. I don't buy it. I don't want you to buy it. You never have bought it, but you've never bought it because the promoters never bought it and then attempted to resell it to you. Okay? There is no, we want to box and we want to do MMA. For you, there is only, if I can sit down and line up 2 paychecks for myself instead of 1, I'd like to do that. Now, where the message becomes murky Where the message becomes murky is we are both conceding a clear advantage for me in boxing, and we are both conceding a clear advantage to you in MMA. If we're both right, then we leave this experiment with a jackpot full of money, tied. No harm, no foul. Doesn't hurt our egos or reputations. Everything ended as it was expected to end. That doesn't work. It doesn't work in any possible frame of mind. Now, if you go a step further and you attempt to do MMA for a round followed by boxing for a round, you're going to flip a coin, you're going to figure out which goes first and which goes second. However you come up with that, if you do that, you're still signaling to the audience that this was done because it was the only way we could get two athletes together. It's the only way we could make the fight happen. And it demonstrates off the bat weakness. There are few, if any, businesses that succeed that the public perceives as weak. So, Francis is also now in a unique situation. Guys, if we went back 4 months and we talked about Francis versus Deontay, oh my God. Oh, you're going to get murdered. I mean, I remember these talks. I gave these talks. They just happened to be Tyson Fury. But Francis has now demonstrated that he does not need help with the rules, and he doesn't even need to have you be the one to show the courage. He will come to you. So we don't need to do them both. And you must understand, let's say you agreed to them both. Now, I realize they haven't. I'm backing Deontay's point on this. I would just back him further had he not left the door open to you come box me and I'll come do MMA with you. I mean, but guys, imagine that. Imagine if you sign that contract. You're the money. You're the boss. You're the one that's got to make this a profit and come through on these guys, deliver on an idea that everybody agrees to. Just imagine that. And you did boxing first. And that is one thing with the boxers they're very consistent with. There's only been a few to float the idea, but the few that actually meant it, and Deontay does mean it, the few that have actually meant it have been consistent. You're going to box me first. I don't know that I can trust you. I don't know that you'll come over, so you're going to come do mine. I will come do yours, but you're going to come do mine. But just imagine that happened and Francis beat him. Imagine Deontay Wilder and Francis boxed and Francis beat him. First off, do you think Deontay's going to come do MMA? That would be silly. Do you think a commission would allow that? That'd be irresponsible. Do you think you would possibly have an interest? If Francis beat him in boxing, would you have any interest to even see them do MMA? Now, Deontay wasn't suggesting we do this, in case you tuned in late. Deontay said everything right. But the idea for a mixed rules bout came from somewhere. It germinated from somewhere. And if your concept, whether you're going to follow through or not, is interesting and thought-provoking and conversation-worthy, then the genesis of that idea has delivered. It's one of those interesting situations, right? If Coca-Cola had suggested that they're going to bring you a hot drink, they're going to bring you something hot, they're going to sell it at Starbucks. What? I like Coke, I like Starbucks. I get my Coke over here for a reason, I get my Starbucks over here for a different reason. When I'm hot and sweaty after work, there's one that I turn to, and on a morning when I'm trying to get my dopamine up, there's another one that I turn to. I don't need you to, I don't need any of that. We don't need to get weird. I don't need a hot soft drink. What are you talking about? And if you're going to do a hot soft drink, then start from the very beginning. Don't go to Coke and Starbucks. Don't go to established brands and think that they're going to find a way. I mean, it just starts to get weird. It starts to get weak. And that perception can't happen. There is no sport called mixed rules, just so everybody understands. There is no commission that sanctions an event called mixed rules. There is no judges for mixed rules. There is no referee schooled in the art of mixed rules. So, if you want to play basketball, put on the long shorts, grab the high tops, head to a court, take a ball with you. Put that ball in the hoop. If you take more than 2 steps without dribbling, you've now done something called traveling. If anybody touches you, we're going to send you to a line called free throw. If you would like 3 points, stand behind the U-shaped line.